The PLC Programmer Roadmap, from beginner to senior, with the milestones that actually move salary. In roughly 5 years if you do not waste any. Most roadmaps online list 100 skills with no sequence and no honesty about which ones pay. This one is different. For tiers, specific milestones, real outcomes. The salary bands from the previous video map onto this directly. By the end, you will know exactly what to learn in what order, and roughly how much each milestone is worth to a hiring manager. Tier 1 is beginner. Months 0 to 12. The first skill is ladder logic itself. Power rails, contacts, coils, branches, the seal and latch, the scan cycle, and the snapshot rule that catches every new programmer exactly once. The IEC 61131-3 standard primitives that transfer across every vendor. The first programs use the TON, TOF, and TP timers, and the CTU, CTD, CTUD counters to build motor starters, conveyor sequences, and traffic lights. The output of the beginner tier is the ability to read and write any ladder rung in any environment, plus the muscle memory that comes from writing a few hundred rungs in a free simulator before touching paid vendor software. Tier 2 is intermediate. Year 1 to 3. The first vendor commitment. Pick Allen Bradley or Siemens. Both are excellent first vendors, and the rest of the controls world adapts to whichever one you learn first. Learn the vendor-specific syntax. XIC versus LD versus normally open contact. Build a working hardware trainer for under $300. A used compact logics from eBay. A click PLC from Automation Direct. An open PLC board on a Raspberry Pi. Get HMI exposure through FactoryTalk View Studio or Siemens WinCC. Mid-tier engineers separate from beginners by handling vendor-specific quirks, not by writing prettier ladder. The salary jump from beginner to intermediate is roughly $20,000 per year. Tier 3 is mid-career. Year 3 to 7. The second vendor. Now you can claim to be vendor neutral on a CV. The first SCADA system, ignition by inductive automation, is the easiest entry. The trial is unlimited, and the documentation is genuinely good. The first commissioning project. This is the big leap. Commissioning is where rung writing is about 20% of the work. Panel reading, instrument tracing, electrical troubleshooting, and operator handover documentation is the other 80. Most engineers never get a chance to commission. The ones who do leave junior engineer pay behind for good. Pay band leaps here because commissioning experience is the rare ingredient that hiring managers actively pay for. Tier 4 is senior. Year 7 plus. System integration across the full stack. PLC, SCADA, motion, robotics. Safety PLCs, and SGEL ratings. The functional safety standard that pharma and oil and gas pay a premium for. Industrial cybersecurity applied to control systems. The largest near-term salary lift in 2026 per the salary data covered in the previous video. A portfolio on GitHub. Working ladder examples, structured text routines, and HMI screen designs. The portfolio is what separates two engineers with the same number of years on a CV. The hiring manager can see actual code from one and a job description from the other. The first one wins. The 5-year compression. How to move through the 4 tiers faster than average. The cheapest single accelerator is to write rungs. A lot of them. Free, in a browser. The free simulator at plcsimulationsoftware.com runs full IEC ladder with timers, counters, and the seal-in patterns covered earlier. Spend an hour a day on rungs for 6 months, and the beginner tier is done. Side projects matter. Pick a real problem. Bottle line counter. Conveyor sort. Traffic light intersection. Build it end to end in the simulator. Publish it to GitHub. The portfolio you build in months 1 through 24 becomes the senior tier portfolio without rewriting. For common roadmap pitfalls. The first is vendor obsession too early. Beginners pick Siemens and refuse to learn any other vendor. 2 years later, they cannot apply at a Rockwell shop without lying. Pick a first vendor, learn it well, then deliberately learn a second. The second is ignoring SCADA until year 6. SCADA is half the controls job. Touch it in year 3, not year 6. The third is no portfolio after 5 years. Without artifacts, your CV is identical to 50 other CVs. The fourth is treating PLC programming as a single skill. It is a stack. Ladder is the entry, but motion, safety, cyber, and integration are where the senior pay sits. Start the roadmap free at plcsimulationsoftware.com. The lessons cover ladder, skin cycle, timers, counters, latches, edge detection, and the basics every Allen Bradley or Siemens programmer uses every day. Write rungs every day for 6 months. The beginner tier closes itself. Next video covers the Open PLC tutorial, the free Allen Bradley style path that most people overlook. Subscribe, new video every Tuesday. See you in the next one.